Welcome everyone to another episode of the History AI podcast. I'm your host, Chuck, alongside my co-host, Marco.
Hey, everyone! Chuck, I'm really excited about today's topic. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Oh, it sure is, Marco. We're diving into a historical bash, the party thrown by America's founding fathers after the ratification of the Constitution. Yes, you heard it right, our studious, somber founding fathers knew how to let loose and celebrate.
You mean there were more rounds of huzzah than in a colonial version of a frat party?
You bet, Marco! We often forget that these monumental figures were human too, and humans like to party. Let's go back to September 17th, 1787. The U.S. Constitution has just been signed and the celebrations are about to begin.
Now, I wonder if it was BYOB or if they got a caterer.
Well, Marco, according to historical accounts, the final bill of the evening was quite shocking. It seems the founding fathers certainly enjoyed their libations, and the cost amounted to around £15, nearly $2,000 today, which included 60 bottles of claret, 54 bottles of Madeira, 8 bottles of whiskey, 22 bottles of porter, 8 bottles of hard cider, 12 bottles of beer, and 7 large bowls of alcoholic punch.
Phew, those gentlemen sure knew how to party. And, oh, Madeira, the favorite drink of many of our founding fathers. Not a bad choice.
Absolutely, Marco. Now, let's talk about the people. This event was an amalgamation of diverse personalities, the champions of liberty like George Washington, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin, and the rest of the gang.
Imagine being a fly on the wall, Chuck. You'd have Washington and Franklin, two people with different ideologies, toasting to a shared dream.
Indeed, Marco! There were disagreements, philosophical debates, and fiery dialogues that ensued. But for that night, they put aside their differences to celebrate their achievement.
When the world hits hard, hit back harder with Strike Force Energy. The zero sugar, zero calorie, power pack energy drink additive that fuels your adventure. Just a quick squeeze turns any drink into a relentless power source. Perfect for your workout, your hike, your life. Ready to strike? Visit StrikeForceEnergy.com, use coupon code UTS8LAX24 for an explosive 20% off your order. Strike Force Energy, unleash your potential. Strike Force Energy, fuel the fight within you.
Welcome back. Now, let's discuss the events leading up to this momentous party. The Constitution wasn't exactly a walk in the park, was it, Chuck?
Not at all, Marco. The Constitutional Convention was a grueling 4-month process filled with disagreements and compromises. You can imagine the relief they must have felt when they could finally sign that parchment.
And you can imagine the hangover they had the next day.
Good point, Marco. The morning after must have been quite a scene.
All right, it's joke time. Why did the founding fathers go to the bar?
I don't know, Marco. Why did the founding fathers go to the bar?
Because they had the right to bear arms and drink.
That's a good one, Marco.
Now, after the party, these men had to deal with the monumental task of implementing and upholding this new constitution.
That's right, Marco. The party was just a brief respite in a long journey towards creating a new nation. They had the challenge of winning the hearts and minds of the American people and making sure this Constitution stood the test of time.
And their efforts were not in vain. More than 2 centuries later, their Constitution still stands as the bedrock of the American Republic.
Couldn't have put it better, Marco. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a moment to acknowledge that these men were not perfect. They had their flaws and made choices that we today understand were fundamentally wrong, such as owning slaves. History should be understood in all its complexities.
Absolutely, Chuck. Well said.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to the History AI podcast. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Marco. We'll see you next time.